Welcome to the Kashmir Notebook with Gowhar Geelani, a special Frontline broadcast. Today, we have with us Mehbooba Mufti, former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and President of the People's Democratic Party. Ms. Mehbooba, you have been the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. You're a former Chief Minister and also the President of one of the main political parties, which is now in opposition, the People's Democratic Party. How are you seeing things and developments post August 2019? That Jammu Kashmir is no longer a state. It is no longer a place with special status. There is Reorganization Act. How are you seeing this changed and altered political and economic landscape?
Well, what happens once a bulldozer comes and, bulldoze everything around, right and left, whatever you have, economically, emotionally, socially. So that's what happened after 2019. There was an earthquake, but it has not stopped as earthquake stops at some point of time, after 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or whatever. But what happened in 2019 in Parliament, the way the law was bulldozed, it has not stopped there. Because with each and every passing day, you see that Jammu Kashmir, especially Kashmiris, are facing the onslaught. You have raids going on every day. You have people being harassed every day. You have, uh, employees being terminated. People are denied their passports just on mere basis of suspicion. So it's like a open air prison where everything is monitored, or you can say it has become like a zoo where you bring in people and they just go around and watch a lion who has been caged, and they say, oh, the lion wasn't doing anything, but they forget that it has been caged. So that's the situation in J&K.
So, in this situation where you call Jammu and Kashmir an open air prison or a zoo where the circus is happening, Umar Abdullah is currently the chief minister. He is seemingly at the helm. He's in power. But is he in power? Is he calling the shots?
Well, see, if a chief minister who has 50 legislators, who has 3 member parliamentarians, so if he is not in control, then who is going to be in control? It depends, how you are ready to use the power that the people have given to you.
The mandate, you mean?
The mandate you have been given. Are you ready to stand up for your people, or you just want to tag along? So I think he has enough powers, he has enough mandate to stand for his people, not against Delhi, but to stand for your people, which you are not doing. Because unfortunately, the day results were announced, both Umar Saab and Farooq Saab started saying that we are not going to have any confrontation with New Delhi. It seemed like a total surrender, that they were ready to surrender, even if Delhi did not ask for it. So I think,
So, are you saying this is sort of an anticipatory obedience?
yeah, it very much, because we have seen National Conference from 1947 onwards. I mean, they have always played it double. They have tried to fool the people of Kashmir, at the same time also tried to fool Delhi. So they have been playing both ways, and unfortunately, people of the state, people of Jammu Kashmir had to, pay the price, very heavy price.
So now we come to one important question is about the resolutions that were brought in by the opposition parties, including yours and Sajad Lone's party. For example, the Public Safety Act, revoking Public Safety Act, or this important resolution about the Waqf Act and 370 and special status. Neither discussion is allowed, sounding technicalities, citing technical problems, and also there's no discussion and no resolution is being passed, saying that the matter is now sub judice. If the matter is sub judice, it is also mentioned in NC's manifesto, for example. So, how do you see these
No,
developments?
the as far as this Waqf amendments are concerned, the matter is not sub judice, because the court has not taken the cognizance as yet. So how is the matter sub judice? And
So,
I
how do
mean,
you see the speaker's role?
no, I don't blame the speaker.
Mhm.
It's a fixed match. It's a fixed match
Between?
among the alliance partners within the national conference and its allies also, because nobody is calling off their bluff. I mean, your MLAs, they go and create a ruckus in the assembly, and then they start pointing their fingers at the speaker. The chief minister at the same time is, going around in Tulip Garden and entertaining the same minister who tabled the
who piloted the bill.
Yeah, and I mean, he did not, even blink for a second that what this message was going to send, this what kind of a message he is sending across to the Muslims in the country.
Do you think it was bad optics?
I think it was not only bad optics, it was something, it was like, um, it was like stabbing the Muslim community in the back. Because
Constantly says that, and I'm quoting him, that I can't pick up the fight that I can't win. And if it took BJP, for example, 70 odd years to abrogate Article 370, so it's a long fight. He will, use judiciary and other means, except for the street protest.
but the Waqf amendment, as we have seen in Tamil Nadu, they refused to accept it. I mean, what?
Tamil Nadu is a full-fledged
Yeah, that's okay. But what would stop him? What is stopping the speaker from accepting a resolution? And let them vote on it. Let us see who is on which side. It's not only about 370.
So now let's come to another issue, reservation. There has been a lot of politics on reservation. One of the MPs, member parliaments of National Conference, actually went on to stage a protest outside the chief minister's residence,
as they are doing now in the assembly.
So how do you see this? This is
as they are doing now in the assembly.
So you see it's a fixed match?
I mean, you are in the government. You have to take a stand. And then the same government, they go to the court and there they ask the court to dismiss the plea of the person who had gone against the reservation. They say that he has lost his mind. You should need to dismiss it. So they are trying to play it both ways. But my point at this point of time is that Jammu Kashmir, a Muslim majority state, should have the chief minister of this state. He should have, thought 10 times before, going for a walk in the Tulip Garden along with the same minister who introduced this amendment. Because it was a slap on the faces of the Muslim community throughout the country, because this is a signal to all the Muslims in the country that look here, there is a Muslim majority state. They gave us a red carpet treatment after we bulldoze this bill. So who the hell are you to oppose it?
So let's come to the criticism of your own party, leveled by National Conference and your opponents and critiques, that you yourself, your party, stitched two back-to-back alliances with the same
Very much
Bharatiya Janata Party in 2015 and 2016. You did that. So how do you see this contradiction? That
there is no contradiction. We had only 28 members, and BJP had almost 28 members, and then my father's his agenda was that he wanted to go beyond building roads and buildings. What he had started in his first term as a chief minister, he wanted to take that forward, and it was not possible to take that forward unless and until you did not have the central government on your right side. And that's why he took 3 months to to persuade BJP to come around, what his vision for Jammu and Kashmir was, opening up roads, not touching 370. I mean, imagine a party.
Referring to the agenda of alliance.
Yeah.
We stated that.
Yeah, everything. And they stood by that throughout the, when the government was there, when the coalition was there, they stood by that. They did not touch 370.
So let's come to.
And then again, I would like to add that now National Conference having almost 50 members, 3-member parliamentarians. You don't know what their agenda is. They are normalizing everything that BJP has done since 2019. Now they normalize this Waqf amendment bill by going around with the minister and, I mean, look at Farooq Abdullah Sahab, one of the tallest leaders that we have in country. I mean, what was the need for him?
So today you also talk about civil rights, the freedom of press and free speech, and other things. But there are critiques, and one of the criticism of your government would be that in 2016 you banned a Srinagar-based
Mm, mm,
newspaper,
mm,
Kashmir Reader,
mm,
and one of the prominent human
mm,
rights activists and
mm,
defenders,
mm,
Khurram Parvez, was
mm,
also arrested under
mm,
your watch.
mm.
So how do you?
But I never claimed at that point of time that everything is fine. You knew what was happening in 2016. You knew how police stations were being attacked, army camps were being attacked, people were on streets, they were on roads with stones, and I mean, so many times they snatched the guns away from the army personnel.
Mhm.
But we did not, go for a kind of crackdown that is happening now when the government of India claims that everything is fine. They say separatism has ended, everything is normal, but in spite of that, they are continuing with their, measures of oppression, suppression.
So do you think everything is not normal? If you look at the Peer Panchal, or you look at,
What is normal? What is happening in Kathuwa? The Kathuwa place, which was, there was never any kind of militancy there.
do you see militancy shifting to from Valley
It's
to
not
the
only about
Peer
militancy.
Panchal,
You had
Chenab
Home
Valley?
Minister here. He wanted to visit, martyrs' home. Do you know how much security was there? You know, when the LG moves, how much security is there? Do you know how our vehicles are stopped by when the army movement is there
You mean the
on
convoys?
yeah, when the convoys? I mean, you know how the journalists, the media people, they are not able to speak the truth.
Mhm.
Can you dare to write anything on social media? I
So
mean, if
yeah,
the normalcy is there, then these things should not be happening. And why are our people in thousands still languishing in jails without any trial? What's their offense?
so let's come to another important question. And in the first week of May 2017, when you were inaugurating and addressing a gathering, you inaugurated a flyover in Jammu, and
Mm.
you addressed media and gathering there. And I quote, I say today with authority, and I will be criticized for it also. If anyone can find a solution to Jammu and Kashmir problem, it is Narendra Modi.
Yeah,
Unquote.
that's true. Because he is seen as a, belongs to a party which, is seen as, I mean, the most pro nationalist party. Now it has become a Hindutva party.
Mhm.
But it was only Atal Bihari Vajpayee who, as a BJP person, took a bus to Lahore. He was able to initiate a dialogue even after Kargil. He was able to call the army back to the barracks after this parliament attack happened, and then again negotiate a dialogue, talk to Pakistan, because he belonged to BJP. After that, Dr. Manmohan Singh came, and all through those 8 years, he wanted to visit Pakistan, his home. He couldn't do it.
Mhm.
So Modi, with a huge mandate, that's what my father had envisaged. That with a huge mandate, he can take forward what Vajpayee ji initiated.
You mean this opening of Srinagar Muzaffarabad Road, or
Opening up
Poonch Rawla Port,
more roads,
trade,
more roads,
trans
and
Kashmir?
doing away the with this ESPA,
Mhm,
having a dialogue, continuing to restart a dialogue,
mhm.
and out of which, I mean, you have to understand that no chief minister till date had written a formal letter to separatists to come for a dialogue. I was the one with BJP in government.
So you also say that your party
Even
colleagues.
today, let me
Mhm.
put it on record.
Okay.
Even today, Modi is the prime minister who can, if he wants, if he adopts the
Vajpayee doctrine.
Vajpayee doctrine, he will be able to find a solution to the Kashmir problem, because he has the authority, he has the mandate of people even now,
But
and
they
he
but they
is.
claim, the BJP claims that by abrogating Article 370, by taking away semi autonomy of Jammu and Kashmir, Kashmir issue is resolved.
Well, they say it for it's a narrative that they are carrying forward with
For electoral means.
for electoral means, but they know in their heart of hearts that Kashmiris feel more alienated
So
today.
you see, Kashmir is not resolved. According to you, it's not
No,
resolved. It's
it
not
cannot.
normal.
It cannot be resolved unless and until you just take away the sense of defeat that Kashmiris feel at this point of time. They feel everything has been taken away from them. Everything has been snatched away from them. I mean, you don't have even a basic right to go and protest on the street, maybe for a very mundane thing like shortage of electricity or water, you can't do it
Let's come to the
because they're so paranoid. They're so paranoid about
external
it.
dimensions of the
Mm,
Kashmir issue.
mm.
There's a geopolitical thing involved in it right now with U.S. tariffs. How Trump is, using the term
But
reciprocal tariffs.
unfortunately, nobody in India or no media house in India is discussing that
Reciprocal tariffs.
the drastic impact it is having on the share market, on our economy.
Mhm.
Everybody is talking about Hindu Muslim,
So
since.
there is China. There's a
Mm,
problem with China.
mm,
You with the context of Galwan and other things
mm,
at the line of actual control.
mm,
There is a problem. There was recent ceasefire violation
mm.
on the LOC line of control. So your party has been an advocate of talks with all stakeholders. Pakistan, for example, or the Hurriyat, and also China. Now China is coming as new kind of a stakeholder because there is a problem with China. How do you see this geopolitical dimension of Kashmir?
I think with the abrogation of illegal unconstitutional abrogation of 370, China has been kind of introduced into the situation, which was first they said it was a bilateral issue and whatever they would say, and they have already taken more than 4,500 square kilometers of land in Ladakh. So nobody's talking about that, least of all the BJP. I think at this point of time, it is very important if they really want to address the Kashmir problem. There have to be certain confidence building measures, and one of them will be to I think it may sound out of place to reopen the old tradition routes that connected us to Kargil, Alaska,
Skardu,
China.
yeah.
Yeah, that is so that Jammu Kashmir becomes a hub of economic activity.
Mhm.
Because if you are finding a solution to Kashmir problem, it should benefit everybody. It should change the landscape, not in a way, not territorial wise, but otherwise. That's what my father had thought when he opened the roads. He wanted business to continue. He wanted Streetgut road to be opened, Kargil school, and that was in our agenda of alliance.
Hmm. So
So,
last two questions. One is about your own party, that you have said that your party was the main target
of
of
course,
the BJP.
that was.
So some people were thrown out of the party and some left
Mm,
and some were asked to leave,
mm,
according to you.
mm,
What is the current state with you not winning elections and
mm,
Iltija losing election in her home constituency, which is
mm,
considered a bastion of the
mm.
PDP? So how are you seeing your own party's comeback of sorts?
We
What?
are working. We are working very hard because we need to almost 50 to 60 of our leaders who had spent so much time, who were MLAs, MLCs, Rajya Sabha
Finance
members,
minister.
ministers, they were forced or lured and taken away from the party. So party was in a mess.
Mhm,
We are trying to rebuild it
mhm,
once again, and we think we need to work from the grassroots level
mhm,
and and continue with our agenda because our strength is in our agenda. That is, roads, buildings, infrastructure, good governance can be done even by the lieutenant governor. But Kashmir has a different dimension to it. It has a different problem. Unless and until you don't address, you don't
You are
reach
saying
out.
internal and external dimensions both have
Both,
to be
both,
addressed.
both need
Okay.
to be addressed.
So
Both need.
late Mufti Muhammad Said in one of the interviews with me in Jammu when he stitched an alliance, he said that this PDP-BJP alliance is going to be a paradigm shift in
Mm,
Kashmir politics.
mm,
And then your own brother, Mr. Tasadduk, he said in an interview with a newspaper that it was a partnership in crime. After 3 years, it proved to be a partnership in crime. Where do you stand on this, reflecting on this last, from 2015 until 2018, you were in charge, and now 7 more years have passed. So last decade, how do you look at this decade?
Let me put it on record,
Mhm.
though uh, I always opposed
The alliance.
BJP's ideology, and I was not really very, up to it. But when my father said that, he doesn't want to become the chief minister, he wants to do something in the for the
Larger.
larger picture. He wants to resolve and take the peace process forward. And unfortunately, his health was deteriorating, and he knew about it, and then he passed away. I was not willing. But when I formed the government, I have to put it on record. BJP during those 2 years did everything that I wanted to do. That's why I was able to withdraw 12,000 FIRs against the stone pelters who were pelting stones morning, evening, day against my government. I was the one who was able to get the highest delegation in the history of India. including Arun Jaitley, Rajnath Singh, and others. Ram Vilas Paswan and Congress people and other parties, except for two parties, that was Mayawati and one more party, but they had also showed that we are ready, to reach out to Kashmiris and get it. And many of them went to the doors of Hurriyat separatists. That was the worst kind of blunder that the Kashmiri separatists could have done at that point of time, because when they shut the doors, they did not shut the doors on the people who were at their doorstep. They shut the doors at the people of India who felt snubbed. That was the turning point. Because at that point of time, a message went to government of India, not only people of India, that Kashmiris insulted us. But even then, there was a ceasefire after that. There was an offer of dialogue. There was, can you imagine,
Are you
what?
talking about the Ramzan ceasefire?
Yeah. It had never happened. It happened once in Vajpayee's time, and Farooq Saab forced him to take it back, if you recall it. He said, I told my DG then, you remember that dialogue. And can you imagine today, you have rapist of Bilkis Bano, you had that guy who calls Ram Rahim, rapist and a murderer moving. I was the one who took up a stand. Not only, sentence those people, those, I think they were...
In the case of Kathua,
Kathua,
where
not only
two
jail, but I
ministers
dropped
were
two
asked.
ministers. And BJP, they
Do you think that was the reason they came hard at you once you forced two ministers from the BJP to?
Whatever I did, it was the agenda of Kashmiri people, agenda of people that was being implemented. Nowhere, never did BJP, tell me you can't do it. What I wanted to, I got that done. And that's why my party was the first one to be dismantled by them, because they knew me, how my working style. And maybe, I feel that, what I did during my tenure, I don't think any other chief minister could have done that with being in alliance with BJP. But unfortunately, the situation was so bad, everything got, lost in that.
There was one that I will ask you again, because I asked you in the last interview also, that remark that you once made during the civil agitation, and it comes back to you in social media narratives and also in public memory, that toffee and
Kashmir
coffee
ko goli
remark.
maro. Who said Kashmir ko
Toffee
goli
and
maro?
coffee remark.
No, who said Kashmir ko goli maro?
No, I'm asking as
No, I'm just saying. He said Kashmir ko goli maro. I did not say it. As a mother, आज भी मैं अपने मेरे बच्चे जब गलती करते हैं, मैं उनको डांटती हूँ. हम तो कश्मीरी में वही से, और उसको
you're saying that it was a manner of saying?
Yeah, because जब आपका बच्चा, जब आपको पता है कि they were being used as fodder, आप जाके सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस पे, पुलिस पे कुछ मारते थे और बाद में बच्चों को सामने करते थे.
There was a pellet horror those days, like there was New York Times called it a epidemic of eye.
बिल्कुल. और सामने कौन थे? बच्चे. और कोई भी माँ बाप अगर बच्चा किसी गर्म चीज को हाथ लगाता है तो उसको थप्पड़ मारते हैं और बोलते हैं कि और उसको तपा ली मत.
One last question: what is your message to the Tamil Nadu and entire South, India? Tamil Nadu government passed a resolution on the Waqf. What is your message to the DMK,
No message.
MK Stalin government?
In fact, they have given us the message. It should be they gave a message to us. They are giving message to the whole country. That what secularism exactly is. Secularism means to stand for the rights of minorities, to treat them well, to treat them with respect. That should have been a lesson for our government here, for the chief minister, for Farooq Saab.
You think Farooq Sahab and Umar Sahab failed to draw any lessons from there?
I think failure is a very, very, very mild term. What they did in the Tulip Garden is something,
You mean by receiving the minister who tabled the bill in the parliament?
Exactly. Because the mood is still very raw. What they have done, it's not just it's not something a very ordinary kind of bill. They have amendments. They are trying to take away even our graveyards, mosques, shrines, whatever Muslims have. It's a matter of religion. It's a matter of faith.
So it's you see it as a dispossession,
disempowerment. And you have a leader, Farooq Abdullah Saab, then his son, Sheikh Abdullah Saab's grandson. They were walking hand in hand, in Tulip Garden with the person who brought in the bill. to disempower Muslims.
Mehbooba, thank you very much for talking to the Frontlines Kashmir Notebook program. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.